Welcome back to Alvis Explains. I'm Alvis, and today we will continue with the next part in the preamble series with the word secular. This word was also introduced in the preamble alongside socialist and integrity by Madam Indira Gandhi in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Now, inclusion of the word secular in the preamble was also not needed, just like the addition of socialist was not needed. Secular was also not needed because the word secular has two definitions. There is a Western definition and then there is an Indian definition of the word secular. The Western definition of the word secular is divorce between the government and religion. Now, this divorce had come because there was a necessity for this divorce. Because once upon a time in Western governments, the interruption or the intertwining of religion and the state means government, of the religion and state had reached such a weird point that the king or the people could not even do basic things of their lives without the interference of religious authorities. In fact, that is where the word minister comes from. The clergy that is supposed to advise the king or the governing body, that clergy is called minister, and from that is where the word minister comes from, which is used even in modern democracies. In the countries that have been ultra secular, that word is replaced by the word secretary. So, for example, America does not have a defense minister, it has a defense secretary, while India has a defense minister, a finance minister, and that is how the word minister functions. The Indian version of secularism is way different from the Western definition of secularism. Now, the translation of the Western definition of secularism is dharma nirpekshata. Dharma nirpekshata means, pekshta comes from the word paksh. Paksh means a side. So the government will not take a side of any dharma. That is what dharma nirpekshata means. So that is the Western definition of secularism. But India is not dharma nirpeksh. Indian government is sarva dharma sambhav, which means that India will show same bhavna, same feelings or same attitude to every religion, and that is different from dharma nirpekshta, because this, instead of putting us in a position of divorce from all the religions, this puts us in a position equidistant to all the religions while still keeping them under the ambit of watchfulness of the government, which means that the government can still make laws on religion. That is not possible in many secular countries, Western secular countries, but it is still possible in India because India is differently secular. The other thing that the word secular pushes into the psyche of an Indian is the common citizen of the country need not be secular. He does not need to be secular. The government needs to be secular, and that government's secularism is also not dharma nirpekshta but sarva dharma sambhav, which means that the government assumes an identity that follows all the religions more or less. It is not beyond a religion to question a government, and it is not beyond the government to question a religion. And that is why there are cases in India like Shah Bano or the ordinance that banned the triple talaq in 2019. And that is how that comes into existence, because the government can make laws on religion, and there is no bar. The Supreme Court of India has clarified this, that there is no bar on the government to make law or to not make law on any religion. That is entirely up to the government. Now, if the government should or should not do that, that comes under the ambit of democracy, because if the people don't like what the government is doing, they will not select them in the upcoming elections. But till that, the government is entirely within its right to do anything it wants with the religion of its country, and that is the definition of Indian secularism. Like I said, this word secularism would also be associated with communism, and that is why it was not included in the original draft of the Constitution of India, of the preamble of the Constitution of India. It was done separately. Just like I said, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was a genius, and what he did was he put the definition of Indian secularism into the preamble by writing liberty of belief, faith, and worship. Like there are other liberties, there are two more liberties, but liberty of belief, faith, and worship to all the people, and that just opened the gates for a freedom of religion. In fact, Article 25 of the Constitution of India actually says that all citizens have a freedom of conscience and that goes so deeper than faith or belief or worship. That is a freedom of conscience, which means that it gives you a fundamental right to be an atheist, if that is what your calling is, to be anything, to be a person that constantly jumps between many ideologies. The government of India fundamentally protects the citizens' right to do so, to be so. So that is how deep secularism is in the roots of the Constitution of India. So to overtly write the word secular into the preamble was a political statement. Like I said, reasons for adding that have gone with Madam Indira Gandhi, but the addition itself was redundant, just like the addition of the word socialist was redundant.